place to be. Ain't no need to lay.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number one gambling podcast for quick picks. Today, we are on the instant premiere game, streaming directly to Twitter and YouTube. So same old thing. If you're watching on Twitter and you like the show, this is every single day on YouTube. I would ask for you to hop on over from Twitter, come on over to YouTube at Lunchtime in the Lab. And if you could please retweet and share on Twitter, that would be fantastic as well. I have almost 23,000 followers on Twitter. I would love to have 23,000 subscribers on YouTube. I would be killing it on YouTube. Today, I am recording. It's 8:34 in the morning. This show will not be posted for another 3 hours. I talked about it yesterday, not having the live show, doing it. It's set as an instant premiere. So you guys very well could be here live. I just won't be here. So if you guys are here and you all want to chat amongst yourselves, and cook up some plays or anything like that, that's fantastic. I mean, I encourage it. It's definitely weird doing it this way. I've said it before. I mean, the show is definitely much more enjoyable when I have somebody to talk to and I have the regulars here and everything like that. So I appreciate you guys. But like I said, I think my wife's sister's on her way. It's the neighborhood garage sales. I mean, we're all up early. And like I said, like the rich neighborhoods got garage sales too. So good stuff, but just, kind of looking forward to just spending time with the family. My wife's, is going back to work. So, utilize in the weekends and, hang out with my son and stuff like that. So, some of these weekends we'll have some of these pre-recorded, shows like this. So I can get out and about, and who knows, maybe I'm even home by 11:30. I don't know, but, anyhow, let's get into it though, guys. That's enough talking, I think. I will say, follow me on Twitter at LiveJoeBets. Like I said, almost 23,000 people do. Hop on there if you haven't. We did record the Boys of Spring podcast last night as well. That's going to be coming out in 2 hours. That's set for 10:30. And realistically, by time you see this show, the Boys of Spring podcast would have already been out. So hop off of YouTube, or if you're on Twitter, go over to YouTube. And check out that we break down all 4 games, and we have player props. I think we had a really good read on this week. But let's get into it. And of course, it's probably going to be a little shorter. We don't have as much to talk about here, but today's Saturday, 5-4, as usual. Before we get into the plays today, we'll take a look back and see what we did yesterday here. Blue Jays first 5 team total over 2.5. Easy cash in the second inning. Man, that's all they scored. They scored 3 in the second inning, and that is all they scored the rest of the game. If you're in the Discord, I had the Blue Jays money line and the Cardinals money line together for like plus 105. I can't believe the Blue Jays blew that game. Like, what's going on with baseball right now, guys? Love you to drop a comment and let me know. Because the sooner that we figure it out, the sooner I'm going to start being better. It's got me thinking I need to do first fives. I was trying to talk to my wife and she don't listen. But so that's where I need you guys. But I suppose when you look at baseball, I mean, I certainly start with the starting pitchers, and it's like, okay, I think that this team has a big advantage on this starting pitcher, and that's how I play it. That's how it starts with totals. That's how it starts with whatever. In the Discord, when I do the 2-leg money line plays, if you're even money, you got 2 minus 200s going at, and they put it together, it's even money. Ultimately, I am handicapping that starting pitcher, but they're only going 5 or 6 innings, and then we're having the bullpen come in. Kikuchi pitched fantastic. They immediately gave up 4 runs in the 7th inning and only got 1 out during that time frame, and then they got out of it. Next inning, they gave up 4 runs again. Even trickling down to like FSU yesterday in college baseball, Jamie Arnold was pitching, arguably one of the better pitchers in the nation, up there with Hagen Smith, Trey Savage for ECU. Hagen plays for Arkansas, but the dude, I mean, like, in the first 2 innings at 8 hits with multiple wild pitches, walks, I mean, like, just sometimes pitchers fall apart. But anyway, if you're in the Discord, I'm contemplating doing the first 5 money line instead of the full game money line. A, it's faster, and B, I mean, we're handicapping the starting pitcher, and that leaves the bullpens out of it because unfortunately, some of these bullpens are just getting rocked. Anyhow, Cardinals -1.5 that hit as well. So that puts us we started the day 2-0. That ultimately gives us our winning, our fourth winning day in a row now. Braves Dodgers, I think that game only had 5 runs in it. We had over 9.5. So unfortunately, that one did miss. So I apologize for that, of course. But 4 positive days in a row now, guys. Feeling great. We were kind of struggling for a little bit. We were on a 13, 14 or something like that. We were really killing it. We'll see how it goes today. I did this research last night. In fact, I kind of got a little lazy and I used some stuff from the Boys of Spring podcast. So if you are unable to bet on the UFL, if you're not interested in it, I mean, I understand. We'll run the one baseball play I have here. But of course, it's still going to count for, my record. So first up, this game isn't until like tonight. Padres and Diamondbacks over 8.5. I'll tell you, I don't know what the weather looks like, unfortunately. Let's see. I think it's at the Diamondbacks. Let me try to. I got pull FanDuel back up here real fast. Okay, so it's in Arizona, so you don't normally have to worry about any sort of rain or anything like that. Normally hotter too. It's getting hotter, so the ball is going to start to travel a little better. So that's nice. They do have a dome that they can utilize when it is too hot. They can close that dome. So I mean, it just kind of just depends on and a lot of these like alerts, like Underdog and stuff like that, used to tell you when the dome's closed, and I haven't noticed if I've seen any. So maybe teams just aren't opening and closing the stadium. Anyway, as I was putting the notes together last night, it was 7-1 in like the 7th inning. The game ended at 7-1. So there was 8 runs scored in that. I mean, it was all Padres. Padres 7-1. Diamondbacks really didn't have much going on today. Talking about just handicapping the starting pitchers. Michael King goes to the Padres. He's tied for the most home runs in the league. He has 10 home runs given up already this year. Going against this Diamondbacks lineup, that is powerful. I've been a really big fan of the Diamondbacks lineup. I've bet them plenty of times. We got Ketel Marte as our, player of the thumbnail player of the day. I just had to put that turquoise on there. I love that alternate like turquoise color they have. It does something for me for some reason. They slumped for a little bit. But Michael King, has got a 5 ERA and he's been hit, pretty hard recently. 6 runs to Philly, 6 runs to the Rockies, 1 to the Brewers, 7 to the Diamondbacks. The Phillies and the Dodgers, line up there, obviously pretty powerful. I think the Diamondbacks lineup can certainly, mimic that when they're on. And that's just, that's the Padres side, right? Michael King, giving up a lot of home runs. The dude's been getting hit. Bailey Fott for the Diamondbacks going 4.63 ERA. Dude just gets hit. Dude just gives up runs. 2, 3, 6, and 5 runs given up in his 5 starts. So he doesn't have any over starts. I think his first start, he may have only given up 1 run or something like that. But, the first 5, he's given up at least 2 runs. Looking at, Michael King has given up, what was it? 6, 1, 7 in his last 3, I think it was. So, I mean, honestly, 8.5, too low, way too low. I feel like this could be a 9.5, and I would have been interested in it, to be completely honest. We hope that the Padres bats, carry over today. 8.5 is not a small number, gang. 4-4 game, we got an automatic win because we're not going to have a tie. Even like a 3-3, you're pushing 6, and you hope that we can get 2 runs out of it or something like that. I think I really do see both teams being able to score at least 4 runs today. I feel good about it. Even like in the realm of like a Diamondbacks first 5, like like Michael King's been getting torn up. So that first play for the day is going to be Padres and Diamondbacks over 8.5. And honestly, guys, like, as doing like kind of a quick look, don't love this slate of baseball that we have this weekend. Tigers and Yankees, 2 teams I don't like to bet on. Red Sox, not really a fan of them. I would certainly lean the Twins. The Twins are on like an 8-game win streak. Pablo Lopez is on the mound. We got a -184. Bernardino, not really sure what that dude's talking about. I don't know how he's been. Looking at the Cardinals again, do we run the Cardinals back? Eric Fetty has been good, man. 2-0. He's the only bright spot of a pitcher that they've had. Of course, the White Sox are going to win. Lance Lynn is also going against his previous team in the White Sox. Cardinals should ultimately win that game. Fetty's been pretty solid. Like White Sox, hey, just like the Dodgers are going to lose 50 games this year, the Braves, whatever best team that you think they are going to lose 50, 60 games. And these White Sox are going to win 30, 40 games eventually. Right? They can't go 20 and 142. Cubs and Brewers, Cubs offense broken. Guys, they need Belly back. They need Suzuki back. Pirates and Rockies, you got Jones on the mound, minus 205 money line. I don't feel at all that they're deserving of that. I even looked, I'm like, whoa, like Zabia had been having a much better year than it looks, and like not really, Blue Jays Nationals, Gossman pitching. Don't trust the Blue Jays. Again, they just burned us. Marlins Athletics, not interested in that game. Philly and Giants, you would certainly think that the Phillies win that game. If I was gonna do something, if I was gonna try to throw something together, Guardians just also got skunked by the Angels. And I mean, it goes on. I mean, I think these are just kind of tough matchups. We don't have any really lopsided matchups. And I mean, if you're in the Discord, I mean, I'm trying to take the best. So I'm trying to take the most lopsided like type game or whatever. And we want to have a sweat free type thing. I mean, I certainly think I would trust the Cardinals. And then there's the thing, we're talking about like the first five and stuff like that. I feel like the White Sox have been able to get up early and then like they give up. They've been doing it plenty of times and they give up the lead, like late. To where like their bullpen is just walking and they're just getting like blown up or something. So we got the Cardinals minus 184, and then that would give you. I feel like the Twins or the Phillies would be a good look. After that. Philly's bullpen sucks. Where Nola pitched just terrible yesterday, though. Suarez is solid. Minus 196 for the first five for them. I don't know, whatever. Here, you guys don't care. This is like my moment if even just trying to pre-research before I'm expected to leave the house. But anyway, like there's certainly options, obviously. This first five alternate run lines aren't bad because minus 670. That's disgusting. Anyway, let's talk some football. So the only baseball play game that I have today is the Padres versus the Diamondbacks over 8.5. It's the only one I really had time to research for. Is I feel like I'd rather do some research in like the morning, get lineups and stuff, But anyway, let's talk about some UFL and not really long write-ups like I would have baseball. We got the Stallions going against the Showboats today. Let me actually pull the lines up to make sure these haven't moved because they have been moving all over the place. You got the Stallions minus 13.5 favorites. They're away going against the Showboats. This is a pretty big number. This in fact is a really big number for like a spring football type league. The Stallions first overall in yards, first in rushing, second in passing. So fantastic offense. I mean, they've just absolutely been destroying it. Adrian Martinez is supposed to be the starting quarterback today. If you remember, Adrian Martinez was the Kansas State quarterback who was mobile, who was pretty good. I felt he was pretty solid. Like I said, if you want more information, you want to hear more about this, the Boys of Spring podcast is going live at 10:30. So you guys would have missed it at this point, but click out of this. You click the profile, scroll at the very top. It says playlists. I actually need to make sure I put it in the playlist. But yeah, it's going to be right there. We'll talk more about it. But with him he's leading the league in rushing yards. So with him starting, like they've been playing like Matt Corral versus him. They've been moving him back and forth. Adrian Martinez needs to be the starter for this team. On defense, they're allowing the least amount of yards, the least amount of rushing yards, and the fourth least passing yards. Showboats, just continue to get blown out week after week. 17 last week, they lost by 15 in week 4. 19 they lost in week 3. And guess who they played in week 3? It was the same Stallions. The Stallions were at home, but it was to the point where like they were like, we need to pull our quarterback out because the Stallions defensive line is so good, and they just could not block for the life of their quarterback. I mean, the dude was just taking, Ty talks about it. It was like some WWE dudes out there just taking shots. And it's getting to the point that it's like, if we can't protect our quarterback, we need to just pull him because we're not going to win this game anyway. So I think it's a big number. In UFL, you have a 7-point play, an 8-point play, and a 9-point play. There are no PATs. Most teams go for 2, so you can get 8 and 8. So there's really no like true football numbers in there, unfortunately. So that, certainly kind of makes things just a little bit difficult. But Stallions minus 13.5 is going to be the first play. And the second play here is a player prop. His name is Wes Hills. And this game is actually tomorrow. So cheating a little bit. But West Hills over 47.5 rush yards. These you can bet on player props only on ESPN Bet. So if you don't have ESPN Bet as accessible to you, then I apologize. Um, Prize Picks, I think, does. So maybe check it out there. I'll probably open up Prize Picks and see what that looks like, or Underdog or something like that. Because unfortunately you can't same game parlay it, and there's some of these games that look like they could be some pretty juicy same game parlays, to be honest. Last week though, they played they're playing the Renegades. I think they're playing the Renegades, and last week the Renegades allowed the Brahmas to have, and this guy, let's see. Oh, yeah, he plays for the Panthers. He's playing the Renegades. Last week, the Renegades played the Brahmas. The Brahmas had 2 rushers over this total. His total is 47.5. They had a rusher in the 80s and then a rusher in the 90s. So they had 2 rushers, almost double what this total is. They gave up a lot of runs. West Hills is the second leading rusher in the league. Actually, the number 1 quarter running back, because like we said, Adrian Martinez on the Stallions that we just talked about, he is the leading rusher in the league. West Hills is the leading running back and the second leading rusher. He averages 45 yards per game, so this is pretty damn close to his total. And I think the most important part here is we're looking at a spread of -5.5. This is actually even moved. It was 3, it was 4.5 last night when we recorded. It's at -5.5. I definitely think the Panthers win this game. The Renegades have been just god awful. They're 0-5. They can't win a game. They're losing all the time. So with the fact that you were talking game script here, if the Panthers are going to be winning, they're going to be more inclined to run, which is going to allow West Hills to eat those yards up. We need just 47 yards, guys. I mean, that realistically, we need him to average. What is that? 12. We need him to average 12 yards a quarter. I think that's plenty. The Panthers starting quarterback is actually out as well. EJ Perry had been a really mobile dude running around. Has been really helpful for the Panthers. And they got, I think his first name's Danny, if I'm not mistaken, Danny Etling. Solid guy there. But when you have a really good running back, you're usually going to turn around and try to lean on them. So, I mean, this is my favorite play. Out of the podcast that we did, I think we are probably, me and Ty, Discord wise, we're going to probably collab this play tomorrow. I love it, man. It's solid. It's just game script wise. His quarterback's out, and not to mention that guy's good, and that's a small total, to be completely honest. And he averages 10 carries a game. So I mean, that there's only been 5 weeks so far. So any outliers is going to drastically pull that number down. So I mean, while he averages a little bit under that, I feel pretty good about it, to be honest. So we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. It's gonna be less than 20-minute video. If you can do me a favor and watch it start to finish, that'd be great. Get those YouTube minutes up, so we won't have any of that bullshitting around at the end, putting together a home run lotto today or anything like that. I'm going to be probably pretty super limited even in the Discord today. But to recap today, and like I said, hopefully you guys, this doesn't happen very often. I'd love to see you guys were in here, chatting or anything like that, or even still saying hi, even with me not here. I'm sure it helps with the YouTube algorithm. It's funny, actually. I mean, you guys are commenting on videos, and it's just helping with the YouTube algorithm. And it's like, hey, I'll take that, man. That's funny. But today we're looking for our 5th winning day in a row, so let's hopefully not jinx it here. Hopefully change it up and do some football is not going to hurt us or anything like that. But we're going to do the Padres and Diamondbacks over 8.5. The Stallions and Showboats, that game is at 12 today. So by the time this show's over, it's almost 11 o'clock by this point. You got about an hour to lock it up. -13.5 feels good. I like the Stallions -13.5, and then West Hills over 47.5 rushing yards. That is the running back for the Michigan Panthers. That game is at 1 o'clock on Sunday. ESPN Bet is the only place you can find that, unless you're in a Prize Pick state or underdog state or anything like that. I believe you can do props there as well. As usual, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll be your host each and every day. Even trying to get on the days that I'm busy, trying to be creative. I mean, I don't even mind recording these at midnight the night before, just kind of see how it goes. As far as tomorrow goes, I think we should be live. I do feel though that we we need to get groceries. My son starts his daycare next week, so we got to get diapers, for the 6-month-old and all that stuff. So I'll follow me on Twitter at Live Joe Bets, and I'll certainly let you know whether or not it's gonna be live, another instant premiere type thing. But those are the 3 plays. Appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys back in some fashion tomorrow.